Welcome to another episode of the Spiritual and Ambitious podcast. Today, I am talking about healing the sacral chakra and how to do that. I'm going to give you some tips to kind of nudge you into that direction. So, if you feel like you are having issues receiving, you're having issues perhaps with relationships, or you're feeling that you're having trouble letting go, this is going to be a great episode for you to listen to. So, stay tuned. Welcome to Spiritual and Ambitious. I'm your host, Whitney McNeill. I'm a certified medium and spiritual teacher, and I help spiritual and ambitious souls just like you live your life purpose through your career and attract abundance by connecting into your intuition and spirit guides. Let's get spiritual and ambitious. I am going to get into sacral chakra healing, but I want to give a shout out to Mending Trauma. Whitney does a great job of blending the content of two seemingly different worlds, business and spirituality. It works really well, and her advice is also very helpful for anyone on an entrepreneur journey. Such an original and fun podcast. Thank you so much for your review. And if you love listening to this podcast, I would appreciate your review. And we have a review giveaway. So you can go over to messengerofspirit.com/podcast review. And I would absolutely love to give you a shout out here on the podcast. Let's pull some cards. I haven't done that in a few days myself. So I'm going to pull a couple of cards just to see what topic Spirit would like to make sure we're aware of today. And the first card I have here is the open door. Say yes to new opportunities, which really goes with our theme for sacral chakra about receiving. And then the next card I have here is the doorkeeper. Decide who gets access to you, which is another theme of the sacral chakra. So I'm going to put these cards right in my view so that we can make sure we kind of dive into it a little bit more if needed. Okay, the sacral chakra, what is it? Well, it is an energy center that exists right below your navel. And this is an area that can govern those areas of the body, such as the hips, the uterus, the ovaries, the bladder, even, and the sacrum, and some of the intestines that might be in those areas, depending on your body. So that is the area. And we also have spiritual and mental processes that are kind of governed by this chakra, such as, are we able to let go? Do our emotions feel balanced? How are we with one-on-one relationships? This can be a center for creativity, for our mother-child connection, for our womb. And also, this can be a great way to receive. Like, are we able to receive compliments, money, or do we feel like we're not valuable enough? This really goes with value and how we value ourselves, too. I see a lot of women in particular struggle with balance inside of this area because we have had generations, different times of our life where we haven't been valued by others, where we feel like we are trying to get some sense of control. So it's hard to let go. We feel sometimes that emotions that we have, people might not validate it for us, or we might not feel validated to even feel these things. So, what happens? The sacral chakra has a strong correlation to the throat. And when we cry, we start having these emotions in our sacral chakra, and then they come up. And if we don't cry, if we're trying to shove them back down, guess what happens? It goes back down into our sacral chakra, leading it to an imbalance. Understanding where this is in our body can be important because I really believe a lot of our ailments that we experience come from energy first. So if we have a blockage with our one-on-one relationships, how intimate we're able to be, and intimate, I'm not just talking about sex, I'm talking about Really, are we able to be vulnerable? Are we able to share? And if we feel like we can't do these things, if we choose relationships that are not supportive for us, then eventually that block of energy, I truly feel as being a Reiki master teacher and what I've seen, will then eventually get into the physical body. And our body is a signal, it's an indicator of saying, ding, 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 something's wrong. Now, this does not mean that I'm saying don't go to a doctor or something like that. Always go to a doctor if you've got a physical ailment, please. But it's nice to know, hey, of course I'm going to go get treatment. Sometimes you even need surgery, like I had a hysterectomy. And it's important to know too that as you're healing the physical health, you can also address these other areas of yourself and your energy to help heal that part of your energy. So, regardless if you've had a surgery in that area, you will still have a sacral chakra. And it's important to balance this area, especially if you have surgery, especially if you have a physical ailment, and look at some of the other areas in your life to correct. So this could be, I'm going to start choosing, and I'm not even going to start, I'm actually going to choose healthy relationships. I'm going to let go of relationships that are unhealthy for me. I am going to receive. So when someone tells me I look nice, I'm going to say thank you. When someone gives me a gift, I'm going to say thank you. When someone tries to pay for my lunch, I'll say thank you instead of saying, no, 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 you don't have to do that. It's knowing your self worth and also receiving. So these are some reasons why you might become out of balance and why many of us are seeing an out of balance sacral chakra right now is because we are at a place where our body cannot do it anymore. Our body is telling us, I cannot carry this if we're going to move forward into this new energy that's coming out. And a lot of us right now are feeling this wave of energy. And that wave of energy can look very different. But for most of us, it can feel, I need to rest. I need to just integrate. I need to be. I don't know what my next step is. I just need to sit here. And I can't sit here because I have to do all the things and I have to go to work and whatever else we're going to tell ourselves or whatever else is real. Doesn't mean that we're just making excuses. There are things in our life that we need to do. But our body is saying to us, we can no longer do these things because it's too heavy. And we haven't been taking care of ourselves. We haven't really been receiving. We haven't been able to let go. So people come to me and they want clarity and they're saying, hey, what am I supposed to do? And a lot of times, especially in my aligned membership, I'll say, you know what? With what you've told me and what you're getting intuitively, the action is no action. So the action is it's okay to be not in action. And that in itself is a step. So many times we are wanting or we're feeling like we're lazy if we don't take an action step. When a great beneficial tool to magnetize our energy for manifesting and also to restore balance in our body to even attract the opportunities that we're wanting is to just be, to let go, to receive. And it's okay to honor that part of ourselves. So it's important to do it. If you're an introvert, you might be feeling that you cannot do all the things and you're very overwhelmed and you don't want to talk to friends and things like that. I'm going to encourage you not to cut yourself off from your support system, but it's okay to let go of those relationships that are not supporting your energy. You know, those relationships where the person only calls when they need help or they only have enough space for themselves. So when they call to talk to you, it's like they're taking your energy and they're only talking about their situation. And at the end of the conversation, there's been no question about how you are or any kind of space made available for you. Those relationships are not healthy. Now, of course, there are ebbs and flows in relationships where someone definitely needs help. I get that. Thinking about that person in your life where it's been a year, it's been 6 months, and there's no really checking in on you. It's only about them. So we've all had them in our lives. It's okay to let that go. And in the sacral chakra, we can feel guilt. We can feel guilt about the past choices we've made. We can feel guilty about making decisions that are good for ourselves now. And when that happens, we know that there's an imbalance in that sacral chakra because your sacral chakra has a lot to do with self worth. And if you are in balance and you know that that self worth is in balance, then it's okay to let go and it's okay not to feel guilt. It's okay to put yourself first. And that's going to be really important for you to understand. I hope that you do. So it vibrates with the color orange. And it also vibrates at other different frequencies as well, such as the note of D, D as in dog. And when we come back after this really quick break, I'm going to be giving you some different ways to help balance the sacral chakra without taking an hour. As a professional psychic medium, I've done tens of thousands of readings, but I felt a call to move more fully into teaching intuition. But I still get so many requests about doing readings. So while I don't do readings anymore, I have brought in some very trusted colleagues who are now available for live 1 hour readings on Zoom. If you would like to book your psychic medium reading, go to messengerofspirit.com/appointments to see our available readers and schedule your Zoom reading today. We are talking about the sacral chakra and healing today. So, we've talked about ways that it really can feel out of balance. And we've also talked about why many of us are seeing these things that are out of balance. But I want to do a little summary for you. So, if you feel like things are out of balance, one, you could have ailments where the sacral chakra is in your body. You could also feel like you can't let go. You can feel like you have a lot of guilt. Maybe you're in an unhealthy relationship. And also, maybe your sex drive is a little off as well. This, of course, could be a physical issue, but also energetically, that can be something where the sacral chakra is. Mother daughter connections. It's really about looking at all the different areas that the sacral chakra governs. And that also includes creativity. Maybe you feel really burned out. So, this can give you some clues as to what's going on in the sacral chakra. But I want to give you some ways to get it into balance. So, the sacral chakra, as we just talked about before the break, resonates with the color orange and also the note of D as in dog. So, anything that you can do to incorporate more orange into your life, one of the things that I always told my Reiki students is buy some orange underwear, get some orange bed sheets. And if you can wear this color in your wardrobe, this is a visual representation and reminder of I am making my sacral chakra an important part of my life, and I am making it a priority to balance. Not only am I making it a priority, I'm making myself a priority. So this doesn't have to be bright, vivid orange. This can be a beautiful goddessy orange, just shimmery, whatever it is for you. But just having that color and that vibration is a wonderful reminder. Placing your hand right below your navel and just taking a few deep breaths, envision that you're breathing in below your navel through your sacral chakra. Just allowing yourself to breathe into that space and seeing a beautiful white light move all through your hips and just balance out any area that feels gray or stuck or stagnant and intend for it to clear. Now, of course, I recommend Reiki sessions. I think it's amazing. And if you're Reiki attuned, you can do this for yourself, or you can go find somebody else, or it doesn't even have to be Reiki. Any form of energy healing can help you as long as you feel like you're resonating with it. But I want to also talk about food just incorporating more orange food into your life can be helpful. So, sweet potatoes, that's a real easy one. Squash, that's another easy one. And also oranges or orange juice, that can be something that's easy. Now, of course, making sure that you can do this with your dietary requirements and talking to a doctor about that. But just looking at orange foods and how can I implement that more into my life. Now, another way that can be very easy for you is to look into essential oils. And you can buy a necklace. They're usually very inexpensive. You can find them on Amazon or in a crystal shop or on Etsy, where you put a few drops of oil onto this little cloth pad or into this little clay pot. And you're wearing it as a necklace. So the oil is wafting up and you are smelling it. And there are certain oils that correspond and vibrate to the sacral chakra. One is orange oil. Another one can be neroli that can correspond to a couple different areas of your chakras as well. Clary sage, but not all essential oils are very good for each person. So, clary sage has some contraindications, so you may want to look that up. And also, there are roll ons, and I have a link to oils. I'll put it in the show notes. It's messengerspirit.com/oils and they are chakra blended oils that you can roll on to your physical body because they're diluted with a carrier oil. And you can actually just put this oil on your sacral chakra. So you can look more into that as well. You can diffuse oils in a diffuser and have that in your area too. Now, another quick way that you can also help balance your sacral chakra is with crystals. So, any crystal that is more of an orange type of crystal will generally help you with your sacral chakra. Carnelian, orange calcite, and also a tangerine aura quartz. Looking more into the orange kind of crystals, you can also find some deep orange citrine that can be really helpful too. And there are other stones that are not orange that can help you, such as moonstone. Well, how do you use these? Well, one of the easiest ways is to keep them in your left pocket. And you can also, if you're meditating, have your crystal right on top of your sacral chakra. And as you're breathing in and doing that quick visualization, if you are laying down, you can breathe the energy and invite that crystal energy to help balance that chakra as well. And one of the quick ways that I like to use these stones are just on my desk next to me in my environment. And if you want to wear these stones, of course, you can find crystal jewelry, but you can also just buy a gem cage. A gem cage is pretty inexpensive, and you can put your favorite crystals inside and wear them. So, these are some quick ways that you can look at balancing the chakra aside from energy work and things like that. But I want to tell you some homework for you, but also a couple other ways to balance them. One is to truly look at some of the areas where you might find that you are out of balance. And so I pulled some cards at the beginning of this episode. One of them is to say yes to new opportunities. So when you are receiving opportunities, I would like for you to say yes. Yes, I will do the thing. As long as you feel like you've been asking for it and that it is in alignment with your vibration. The point here is I would like for you to work on receiving. That is going to be part of your homework. Where in your life are you not receiving, and how can you receive? Buying yourself a gift, saying yes when people ask you, when an opportunity comes in, don't say no, just say yes. Someone wants to compliment you, buy you lunch, do something for you, say yes. A lot of times we feel like, I don't know if I want to say yes because then I feel like I'll owe this person. I'd like for you to work on the practice of just saying yes without owing anybody anything, just saying yes and receiving because you are valuable enough and you are worthy enough. Now, another card that we had pulled was the doorkeeper, and this is about it's time to decide who gets access to you. So, what's coming up in this episode is making sure you have good boundaries. Boundaries are going to be really helpful for you in letting people in and making sure others stay out. So, being very clear of who gets energy from you and whose energy you choose to receive. If you have felt contradictory to what I said earlier about saying yes, and you're like, Whitney, I say yes all the time, then that probably means you have no boundaries and your sacral chakra is depleted. So that your homework would be saying no to the things. So I want to be really clear here. Say yes to those things that light you up. Say yes to those things that feel good. And they don't always feel comfortable if you're not used to receiving. I'm talking about the positive. Say no to those things that drain you. Say no to the people that are draining you, that always are requiring you to do this, this, that, or that, and that you feel like a bad person if you don't say yes to them. That's what I'm talking about saying no to. This is a call to reevaluate your relationships and friendships and family connections as well. So when you look at, okay, I'm going to balance my sacral chakra. Okay, I could get a session. I can use crystals. I can use essential oils. I can do a little visualization. That's all great. But you also have to make lasting changes in your life to support that new balance that you're really wanting. So this means I need you to let go of some things. This could be letting go of physical items that are cluttered in your closet, of memories that you don't really need, or other things that you feel like you just want to keep. It's okay to let them go. Let them go. So, and a homework exercise for you could be to let your physical clutter go. Your homework exercise could also be have that conversation or go to therapy with someone or to let a relationship go. Another homework exercise could be allow your creativity to flow. If you feel like you have not been painting, drawing, cooking is a creative form too, whatever that is for you, allow yourself to have time to just create. We don't make time for creation. A lot of times we don't. So make the time for it and have some fun. Fun really corresponds to this chakra. Joy, fun. This is your permission slip to go out and have fun. Feel support with your friendships. Do something that brings you joy. Allowing that joyful energy to come through is also going to support your sacral chakra. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I will be back next week with a brand new one. But until then, here's to staying spiritual and ambitious. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. And if you loved it, would you please share it with a friend? I would also love your review. And a reminder to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can find me at messengerofspirit.com, and you can take the 4 Intuitive Languages quiz and find show notes there too. If you want to connect on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, you can find me at Messenger of Spirit. I'll meet you right here next week. Here's to staying spiritual and ambitious.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.